Caitlin Clark does return to the floor. How is she going to help elevate this team even more down the stretch of the season?
Well, she demands so much gravity on the defensive end of the floor. She's constantly seeing multiple players, and she makes the right reads and makes the right plays for our group. So she's going to continue to allow us to stretch the floor. We're going to be able to, I think everybody else will be able to get more higher percentage looks because of what she demands on the defensive end of the floor. And she brings her own defensive versatility because of her length, because of her size. So we'll certainly look different. I think we'll be that much more dangerous on offense in particular.
Right. Stephanie White, do not put Ari and Kelsey and Caitlin on the floor at the same time. Please don't do it. Please don't do it, man. Please. All right. That lineup made no sense at all. All right. Why would you do that? Why would you do that, Stephanie White? All right. Now,
Indiana Fever coach Stephanie White just dropped a bombshell confession on ESPN that has fans calling for her job. In an interview about Caitlin Clark's return from injury, White revealed a plan so baffling. It sounds like sabotage. She's taking the ball out of Caitlin Clark's hands. This isn't just a misguided strategy. It's a move that fundamentally threatens to break the most exciting player in basketball. And it's the clearest sign yet that the person in charge has no idea what she's doing.
And we've got Stephanie White praising Caitlin Clark. Did hell freeze over somewhere I don't know about? I don't know. We'll see. But she actually made some very nice comments, I guess, about Caitlin Clark today. She was on with ESPN.
In everything that we do, for us, moving her off the ball a little bit more so she's not getting worn out in game, just handling the ball 94 feet. And then we're challenging her on the defensive end of the floor as well, like being a better defender. The best that for us as an opponent, you want to attack a good offensive player by making him play on the defensive end, putting him through the ringer. So being a better defender.
Stephanie White's plan, revealed with baffling confidence, is to move Caitlin Clark off the ball. She claims playing Clark on the wing will give her a breather and prevent her from getting worn out. This isn't just a minor tactical tweak, it's a fundamental misunderstanding of what makes Clark a generational talent. Can you imagine telling Magic Johnson to play off-ball to give him a breather, or asking John Stockton to stand in the corner while someone else runs the offense? It's absurd. Clark's entire game, the very magic that revitalized women's basketball, is built on her having the ball in her hands, reading the defense, and bending the game to her will. She doesn't just play in a system, she is the system. But White, clinging stubbornly to a philosophy that failed to produce a high-powered offense, even with her previous team, seems determined to turn a Ferrari into a station wagon.
Thankfully, she went on ESPN and didn't use the phrase blessing in disguise. I mean this when I say this. I've said this about Stephanie White plenty of times. I actually think Stephanie White's a hell of a coach. So many people are like, oh, you've done nothing but criticize Stephanie White. I think she's got flaws. I think her rotations are iffy. I think her game plans are good. I think her defense is good. And I think her ability to get a team together is pretty good. I think she likes to play a bit slow, but she is very good. What Stephanie White is really good at is making players and teams play better than they should.
And if you need proof that this philosophy is failing, you don't have to look far. The numbers are a brutal indictment of White's approach. This season, Clark's production has been decimated. Her field goal percentage has cratered to 36.7%, and her legendary three-point shooting has plummeted to a shocking 27.9%. She is a shell of the player who took college basketball by storm. For anyone who bought into the narrative that the team was better without her, the facts have delivered a harsh reality check. In the games Clark missed, the Fever lost 7 DMN times, proving that she is the engine of this team, not its Achilles heel. The offense, which flows so beautifully with her at the point, becomes disjointed and lifeless. They can barely scrape together 20 assists as a team, a number Clark herself often approaches with her incredible court vision.
In 5 with Caitlin. At the end of the day, no matter how many games they win, they lost more games without Caitlin Clark playing. So everybody argument that Caitlin Clark is the Achilles heel, Caitlin Clark is this and that, your argument is obsolete, bro. they will forever have that notion on there, that blemish on there. Now, if they would have won more games, lost less, then you might have had something. But by them losing 7 damn games without Caitlin Clark playing lets us know that, yeah, they need Caitlin Clark.
Perhaps the most infuriating part of this whole ordeal is the direct line that can be drawn from White's coaching to Clark's recurring injuries. White talks about careful management and reintegrating Clark from a strength and conditioning standpoint, yet this so-called caution has led to Clark missing more games in her sophomore season than she did in her entire college career combined. The constant soft tissue injuries keep piling up, and the reason is becoming painfully clear. She isn't being allowed to play in the rhythm and flow her body is accustomed to. Forcing an elite athlete into an unnatural role creates strain. Clark herself has voiced her frustration, stating earlier this season, "I don't want to come back unless I'm 100%. Why would I be out there to play 20 minutes? Yet, here we are with White treating the league's biggest star like she's made of glass, and in doing so, actually causing her to shatter."
On the entire league. Remember, she literally added like nearly 3 points a game to her average. She was setting records for assists. Now, that's with Christy Sides having understood the job and just letting Caitlin Clark go wild. That's why I won't buy into the Fever. She's got to greatly alter her game for the Fever to get much better. No, she came back last year. She went scorched earth, and they were beating nearly everybody.
It's no secret that Caitlin Clark has a target on her back. What's shocking is the sheer scale of the abuse and the utter failure of her coach to protect her. The statistics are staggering. An unbelievable 17% of all flagrant fouls in the WNBA this season have been committed against Clark. This isn't just tough defense. It's a pattern, from Kennedy Carter's blindsiding body check to the systematic targeting by teams like the Chicago Sky. Clark has absorbed a level of punishment that is unprecedented. The players responsible face almost no consequences. Marina Mabrey delivered a devastating body check and received little more than a fine. There was no suspension, no message sent from the league, and through it all, White's response has been to further limit Clark's role, effectively rewarding the aggressors.
I know she wants to be out here on the floor, and we want her out here on the floor, but making sure that she's ready is the most important thing. I still don't know how far we are. We're going to take it one step at a time, one day at a time, and go from there.
The fans have seen enough. Social media has erupted with a firestorm of criticism aimed directly at Stephanie White, with many calling for a coaching change. Stephanie White needs to stop this game plan and let CC run the show, one fan wrote, capturing the collective sentiment. Another added, White has done her job and broken CC. Never seen CC look this down and dejected. This isn't just online noise. It's a genuine uprising from a fan base that feels betrayed. They didn't buy tickets and subscriptions to watch White's slow, grinding, Connecticut Sun-style offense. They came to see Caitlin Clark do what she does best: create magic, hit impossible shots, and elevate her entire team. Instead, they're getting a watered-down, constrained version of a generational talent.
Ari McDonald, all she care about is putting the ball in the hoop. Everybody want to score. That's it. Y'all can barely look. Y'all had 17 assists against the Aces the other night. Y'all can't even put up 20 assists a game. That's sad. That's pathetic. Y'all don't be getting Sophie the ball when she open. Know what I'm saying? She be playing defense and everything, and Lexi Hull. Y'all need to reward those girls. They working hard, bro. Those are some hard-working women at the end of the day. You hear me? That's crazy.
What makes this coaching malpractice even more tragic is the championship window that is being slammed shut. The Fever have a roster loaded with talent. With players like Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell, they have the pieces to be a dominant force for years to come. But instead of building an offense around Clark that maximizes everyone's strengths, White is stubbornly trying to implement a system designed for a completely different set of players. It's the definition of trying to force a square peg into a round hole. Last season, under a coach who, for all his flaws, at least understood that Clark was the centerpiece, the Fever made the playoffs. Now, with even more talent and higher expectations, they are regressing. all because of a coach who seems to believe her system is more important than her superstar player.
All of y'all who said we were exaggerating, Caitlin Clark's not getting fouled, bruh, it's to the point. It's to the point where we have this going on.
Beyond the stats and the team record, the most damaging aspect of White's coaching is the way it's crushing Clark's spirit. The fiery, joyful competitor who played with unmatched passion at Iowa has been replaced by a player who looks visibly frustrated and dejected. Her body language during press conferences tells the whole story. When asked about playing off the ball, she looks down, her answers are clipped, and it's clear she's holding back. This is a player who once said, "That's what I'm best at," when discussing controlling the offense. Now she's being forced to defend a strategy that muzzles her greatest strengths. White isn't just diminishing Clark's on-court production, she is extinguishing the very fire that made her a global phenomenon.
Listen to this.
Yeah, we have updates and our recovery's going well. It's just, I think for us staying the course and making sure that we're really diligent about each step that we take and that we don't have setbacks and that we're patient with it. I know she wants to be out here on the floor and we want her out here on the floor, but making sure that she's ready is the most important thing. I still don't know how far we are. We're going to take it one step at a time, one day at a time, and go from there.
So why is this happening? Why would a coach actively work against the strengths of her best player? The answer may lie in a battle of egos. Great coaches adapt their systems to fit transcendent talent, but Stephanie White seems determined to prove that her system is the star, not the player. It's a classic case of an old-school, rigid philosophy clashing with a modern superstar. Some insiders speculate that White felt a sense of relief when Clark was injured, as it gave her a chance to implement her culture without the overwhelming presence of Clark's stardom. She wants to be seen as the architect, the jigsaw, trying to force pieces to fit her grand design, rather than simply letting her most talented player paint the masterpiece. This isn't just mismanagement. It's a power play, and Caitlin Clark is the one paying the price.
I think the obvious issue is Stephanie White is so stubborn to fit a circle in a square peg instead of utilizing the strengths of the team. And she probably felt relief because Caitlin Clark was hurt that, this is my time. I could introduce the culture and the system. And some actually bought in. And then when Caitlin Clark comes back, she doesn't know how to use her.
This destructive coaching philosophy isn't just harming Clark. It's a betrayal of the entire roster. A player like Aaliyah Boston, a former #1 overall pick herself, is at her best in a dynamic pick-and-roll offense run by a brilliant point guard. Clark is that point guard. When Clark is relegated to the wing or sitting on the bench, Boston's effectiveness plummets. Shooters like Kelsey Mitchell and hard-working role players are left standing around in a stagnant offense, waiting for opportunities that never come. White's system isn't creating varied looks. It's creating confusion and frustration. The ball stops moving, and players who work hard on defense don't get rewarded on offense. It's a team-wide problem stemming from one person's stubborn refusal to utilize her greatest asset correctly.
Stephanie Jigsaw White, let me tell you something. Y'all do not move the ball better without my Caitlin Clark, aka my precious CC. At the end of the day, y'all have only won 4 games and recorded 4 games where y'all had 20 assists as a team at the end of the day. Caitlin Clark, aka my precious CC, she averages 7 to 9 assists a game. You hear me? Because she moves the ball and get everybody open, because everybody and their mama and their grandma be double teaming and triple teaming her, and her team is lazy when it comes to setting screens for her. Maybe she wouldn't be injured.
The fallout from this situation could set a dangerous precedent for the entire WNBA. What message does it send when the most hyped, most talented, and most marketable player to ever enter the league is immediately put into a system that stifles her, subjected to unpunished physical abuse, and publicly second-guessed by her own coach? It tells future stars that individual brilliance will be humbled in favor of rigid, outdated systems. The NBA built its global empire by elevating its superstars, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, not by trying to make them just another cog. If the WNBA allows one of its coaches to mishandle its biggest star so blatantly, it risks creating a culture where transcendent talent is seen as a problem to be managed, not a gift to be unleashed. Ultimately, Stephanie White isn't just risking her team's season, she is risking the WNBA's golden goose. The Caitlin Clark effect is real. It has brought sold-out arenas, record-breaking television ratings, and a massive influx of new fans. These viewers are tuning in for one reason: to watch Caitlin Clark be spectacular. When they see her injured, misused, or playing a limited, ineffective role, it damages the entire product. The league has a vested interest in showcasing its biggest star in the best possible light. Every game where Clark is constrained by a flawed system is a missed opportunity for the WNBA to capitalize on this once-in-a-generation moment. White's coaching isn't just a problem for the Fever, it's a threat to the league's explosive growth. The clock is ticking. Stephanie White's comments about Clark's new role represent more than just a tactical error. They represent a fundamental failure to understand how to handle transcendent talent. As Clark recovers from her latest injury, the question is no longer about when she will return, but what she will be returning to. Will the Indiana Fever organization stand by and watch as their coach continues to dismantle the most valuable asset in women's sports? Or will they finally step in and make a change before it's too late? Every game spent in this ill-fitting system is a game wasted. Fever fans deserve better, and Caitlin Clark deserves better. The solution has always been simple. Let Caitlin be Caitlin. Give her the ball, build around her, and get out of the way. Until that happens, the Fever will continue to waste the incredible gift they've been given, and one of the brightest stars in basketball history will continue to be dimmed by the very person who should be helping her shine.